Well, fuck me. I just made this video and somehow it didn't save. So we're gonna give this one more go round. Basically, today on my lunch, I was surfing around on Twitter. Somebody sent me the link. Good old WrestleZone. Not the number one wrestling site that I go to, but a very reputable page that puts stuff up there that's true most of the time, and you can believe what you see on there. Basically, was saying that they're gonna do a little switcheroo on WrestleMania. WrestleMania, the main events were supposed to be Taker versus good old Triple H for a third time go round, and then he was also going to have CM Punk against Chris Jericho to see who the best in the world is for the WWF title. And basically, they think that too many people know the WrestleMania card already, and they want to do a little switcheroo where they sort of mix the bag around to sort of keep people guessing and hoping that it will gather more interest into this. First of all, I don't think there was anything wrong with the way the card was before. I think it's going to be two good matches that you could put two good storylines around. With Jericho returning, and then you also have Triple H being so close to ending the streak last year, coming down to the last few seconds and not being able to do it, and now going back and trying to do it one more time, especially if you can throw Shawn Michaels into the mix somehow. But all in all, if they want to mix it up, that's fine. That's their thing. It's WrestleMania. I'm sure the matches will be good. But to me, when I look at it, I think that the way they had it was, perfectly just fine. Um, if you put Triple H against CM Punk, people are going to complain about, Triple H going for the title one more time at WrestleMania, not letting other people, get into the limelight and, put them shine on somebody else. He's always sort of keeping it for himself, especially now that he's involved in the McMahon family and, he is an actual member of the, board or whatever he is, and storyline wise being the COO and all that jazz. And it's just crap. But basically, I think that's the reason why I always look at their Night of Champions match not being that good. It's just that horrible storyline that they gave us this summer with Vince crying and Triple H taking over, and then CM Punk winning the match, and that was supposed to take Triple H's job away and just make him a normal wrestler guy again. But somehow he just stayed the COO, but he lost control of Raw and SmackDown. That was horrible, but it gave us the birth of John Laurinaitis. Good old Johnny Ace coming out there. He's a character that I really hated at first and it really grown to love. Not enough to buy a T-shirt or anything like that, but that's good stuff. Um, but then you got Taker Streak on the other hand. I mean, Taker Streak started out as an accident. I think more than likely that we're putting this guy over. Taker started out as a normal wrestler that had a good storyline, good character, and he was getting wins, and they slowly turned into Vince's I guess poster boy, I guess you can call him, or company man. He was really the franchise guy, and I mean when his streak started out against the likes of Jimmy Snuka, Jake the Snake Roberts, he was King Kong Bundy. He was just beating random dudes to me, and those matches don't matter. You go back and watch those matches; they aren't any good. So I don't know. When I think about Undertaker streaks, he's only won the title twice. At WrestleMania, the match against Edge was good. The other one is forgettable, and I really don't put a whole lot of faith into Undertaker's streak. I don't think that's one thing to really put on your Hall of Fame plaque, is to say that I am undefeated at WrestleMania, but I can lose on Elimination Chamber and I can lose on Extreme Rules. I can lose on SummerSlam, and none of that gives him none of that matters at all. But somehow, because it's on WrestleMania on the big stage, he pulled out a win there. To me, if you win in the Super Bowl, that's no big deal. But you can't make the Super Bowl if you don't win in the playoffs. You don't win in the regular season. So I mean, like, what's the big deal about winning this? If he loses a lot on the other matches. Not like Undertaker loses all the fucking time, but I mean, there are a lot of pay-per-views that Undertaker does the job and puts guys over. And that's why he's looked at as a real good superstar that helps out everybody else in the back, and he's a leader and all that jazz. But going into WrestleMania, the last few WrestleManias have been really, really good matches for the Undertaker. He's had 25 against Shawn Michaels, 26 against Shawn Michaels in the career match last year, in the No Holds Barred match against Triple H. All of those guys, when they went in there, you can even throw Edge in there. All those guys are guys you looked at it and you thought, this is the guy that could beat Taker. It could be his year. A lot of people think that Orton could have beat him that one year, and there's that story it's been passed around that that Undertaker actually asked to lose to put Orton over, and I really do believe that Taker should lose a WrestleMania match to put somebody over, just to help push somebody farther in the company. I think that walking away 20-0 or 21-0 really doesn't matter in the long run if you can't help somebody get to that point to where 10 years down the road you have another Undertaker or something like that. But this year, if they want to put Chris Jericho in there, to me, Chris Jericho is a great guy. You saw my last video. I love him. He gives great promos. He gives great matches. I guarantee you that if this match does happen, it's Jericho against. I apologize. If it's Jericho against Undertaker, it will be a great match. 4-star, 5-star, however you do it. I like to just say that's a damn good match, and I'd like to watch it again on DVD when it comes out. Pretty much that's my rating system. But I don't understand when I look at Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is not a guy that I see beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's just another body that they're throwing out there to have a decent match, and then you just have the fireworks go off. You put 20-0 up on the board, and that's it. I mean, I don't see anything other than that. I mean, yeah, people don't want to see Triple H because they've had this match 2 times before. But if you look at the last 2 matches, they're the best matches that are on that WrestleMania card. You can debate Rock against Stone Cold at WrestleMania 17, but I personally love the Triple H versus Taker match, even though they acted like it didn't happen the first time, probably because they didn't want to talk about Undertaker being the motorcycle American badass character at that point. They like to believe that people think that he's really a dead guy, running around wrestling matches here and there. But I don't know. Chris Jericho to me, I love the guy, but he's beat guys. They showed that highlight reel with the other thing where it showed him, beating Shawn Michaels, beating, they'd love to say he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. He beat Triple H. He's beat people here and there and everywhere. It's no big deal. But I mean, this is WrestleMania. The Undertaker streak is built up like it's bigger than a championship match. That's why they make the freaking plaques for him, even though he doesn't win a title that night. Um, but I don't really see Chris Jericho as the guy beating him, and that's why it takes away from me. I mean, I got good seats for WrestleMania. It's not like I'm bitching, throwing a protest up saying I'm not gonna go, but I honestly don't think Chris Jericho has a chance to beat Undertaker. So what's the point? Throw somebody out there. I've been the guy who says that throw Kane out there against Undertaker. Yeah, it's the third time he's gonna fight him also, but turn these guys into the superheroes they were back in around the time of Kane's debut, where he came in the Hell in the Cell and he just tore Undertaker up. He's got the new helmet and the new look, the new mask, and all that jazz. So, I mean, you could bring Paul Bear back, and you could just have these guys beat the holy hell out of each other, and no sell for everything, or have it be back like it was before, where Undertaker said he wasn't gonna fight Kane, and because he was his brother, have them beat the hell out of each other. Have Undertaker beat him. Have the Brothers of Destruction shake hands at the end, and have the family reunite. In the storyline like that, where maybe you can throw Paul Bear into some cement again or something like that, and kill his storyline off, but wrestling storylines need to be finished. When I look back at wrestling storylines, that's what I love more than anything else. Good matches are good, but I think about the storylines more than anything. And 9 times out of 10, we get no ending to storylines, and that's the shits because you look back on a storyline and it just comes to nothing. If it ends by injury, it's no big deal. But if it's because the writers just couldn't tie up the loose ends at the end, that sucks. So hopefully they'll figure it out. Let me know. I'm not saying that Jericho versus Taker is going to be a bad match. I think I've said that about 100 times, trying to clear that up. But somebody will leave it in the comments that I'm a dumbass for that. I'm just saying that Triple H and Taker have at least they can add Shawn Michaels to the mix, and it can actually be like a match that you can believe Taker has a chance of losing because it came down to the last seconds last year, and that's my opinion.